So this is my home gym since coronavirus. I've been trying to work out in my garage, but as you can see, yeah, it's a little pathetic, don't judge. It gets a little cold in here when you're working out in the garage, especially in the wintertime. When you're on a rest, you kind of can feel the cold air on your body, and you want to keep your temperature up when you're working out. So today's video is about insulating your garage so you can work out so more heat stays inside the garage while you're working out. At first I was going to use some plywood, but then I was thinking, there got to be an easier way. This is the material here. It's called reflectic. It's made specifically for insulating. You can see, like, you can use it for your garage door, or you can use it for your garage entirely. It looks like this. Comes in a big roll. Easy to maneuver. It's like a soft, bubbly, silver insulated material that you can cut into shape. So what you'll need for this project is the reflectic that you can get at the Home Depot or Lowe's. We're not going to use the plywood today, but eventually I will install the plywood over this material just to make it a little bit more secure and last a little bit longer. You're going to need a staple gun. Any staple gun works. Tape measure. A knife with a sharp blade, because you're going to need that to cut this material here, the reflectic, and you're going to need it to cut the R19 insulation. You're going to need a straight edge to cut this material nice and straight, and also to cut this material over here nice and straight. You're going to need some gloves, and you're going to need a particle mask, because you'll want to use your particle mask and your gloves while you're cutting the fiberglass, because you don't want to breathe in that stuff. And you don't want it to get in your skin because you could be itching all night. So what you want to do, you want to measure out the exact length that you need for the spaces in your exposed garage in the wood. And then you want to measure it out and get your straight edge and then cut it to the length that you need. So I got my straight edge right here, cut it down here with my knife. Like that, and then you get a nice straight piece. And they're going to install this in the wall, the exposed wood in your garage. So the piece that you previously cut, you fit it in the space that exposed in your garage, and you tuck it in nice and tight in there. And then what you want to do, take your staple gun, staple it nice and tight, all your edges, staple it down so it stays just like that. Not a lot of staples, you don't need a lot of staples, just staple just the edges mostly, just to keep it in place. And then you'll go ahead and cover it with the reflectic material. All right, so I got my pieces in here. As you can see, all nice and fitted and stapled into place. You want to move any wires out of the way when you stapling, so you don't staple the wires, obviously. You don't want to damage the wires to your garage and to your lights on that side. But then I staple it all into place right here. And now I'm going to cover it with the reflectic material that we talked about earlier. We're going to check the temperature of the exposed wood here in the garage, see what we get. Is that 43, 44. Let's say 44. With the insulation in place is 52.3. So there's a big difference. It doesn't have to be completely perfect. Once you line it up in place, all you gotta do is staple it to your wall. Make sure you're on the stud. And staple it nice and tight to your wall like that. Now we're going to go ahead and check to see what the temperature is against the reflectic material. I'll go ahead and check the temperature on the reflectic material. See where we at. So we at 62 point, let's say 61. Let's say 61. And that's about a whole, maybe about 15-degree difference just by having this material on the wall. So your finished product should look something like this. You got it up all on the exposed areas here. Now my garage looks like a 1996 music video. Now you're saying, Kalon, well, what about the garage door? Most of the heat escapes from the garage door because the panel is very thin. What are you going to do about that? Well, technically I can use the same material for the garage door, but I'll use something else. Something that's specifically made for garage doors. But first, let's go ahead and check the temperature on the garage door itself. And you can see that's 44.5. Let's just say 44. So I'm going to install this onto the garage door. I got it nice all untucked in and looks pretty good. Does have a good cosmetic appearance rather than the exposed garage door. I actually like how it looks. And here we have the silver one that we did earlier. And this is completely paintable. I actually used some of it in my shed and I painted it in my shed. So it's completely paintable if you don't like the silver. But I do like it a lot. That's about a, let's say, a 9-degree jump from where we were at 44. So that's a big improvement when it comes to heat and working out in your garage. There's a few spots in the garage door that I have to seal up to make it completely weatherproof. The top edge and the sides, let in a little bit of air. But as for now, it's pretty good. It does feel a lot warmer in here right now than it was before. A 10-degree change makes a huge difference when you're out here in the cold, trying to work out on a cold day. Your body temperature do go up when you work out, but it does help if it's a little bit warmer in here. So 10-degree difference just make a huge change. And in the long run, you do save money on heating costs because you don't have much of the cold air from the garage going inside your house. So in the long run, you do save a few bucks insulating your door. And also it blocks out some of the noise from outside. And in the summer, it'll actually block off some of the heat from outside if you want to do something in your garage. Your garage won't be extremely hot. So it makes a difference. 10 degrees is a huge change when it comes to heating. Cost is not that high. I maybe spent overall maybe about 200 bucks for everything here, including the silver stuff and the foam. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope this was insightful to you and you give it a try to heat up your garage or just to save on heating costs, because the cold air from the garage, if you open the garage door, enters the house. So if your garage is a little bit warmer, then you save on heating costs. Cheers till the next one.